Hi, my name's Natalie, and before reading these stories, I wasn't very familiar with Norse mythology. I had a very vague idea of some of the stories, mainly because of the Marvel movies, which include Odin, Thor, and Loki, but I'm sure the depictions of the stories in those movies is not very accurate. And I have also listened to a podcast before called Mythology. I think it's just called Mythology. And they include some of Loki's stories. So I've heard some stories before, but most of this was new to me. Um, and I like the story, The Treasures of the Gods, because I just found it more entertaining and fun because it's centered around Loki. And I think so far the stories that I've heard of Loki, like any of them that involve him or are centered around him, are always just a little more entertaining, in my opinion, because they're a little less serious and just a little more like fun, and he gets himself in trouble, and it's just fun to see how he gets himself out of that trouble. Um, and the stories that I found a bit strange, it's um honestly all of them, since the ideas were so new to me, I found them all kind of strange, but the ones that like really don't sit right with me are before the beginning and after. And that's just because they explain like how the world came to be, like cuz before it was just fire and ice, and then they collide, and they make a being, and then from there the world forms, like slowly one by one. And it just doesn't sit right with me because I personally have a hard time fathoming the idea that something can be created out of nothing. It doesn't make sense to me, and I'm trying to just accept the idea of it, because I know like in the Norse creation video, they like specifically said like nobody knows how or why this happens. It just does. So I'm just trying to accept the fact that it does happen, but um, it's hard for me to grasp. And also in this story, I just think it's interesting how things come to life. Like Ymir, I think that's how you pronounce it. Um, feeds off of the cow that is created, and while Amir slept, he gave birth from his armpits and his legs. It's just a tad strange to me. It makes me feel slightly uncomfortable to think about that. But overall, I found all of the stories really interesting. I just think they're interesting nonetheless. Um, but yeah.